What's good, guys? So today we're watching. It says 8 reasons ugly women think this. I think the thumbnail showed a 10 versus what they are. So yeah, let's get in.
I'd
Right.
rather a 10.
Yeah.
And you don't understand. Well,
Wait,
I'm a
she's a
10.
10?
I go to school, I go to work, and I have a great personality.
Oh,
Guys,
seems
I'm
more
going to
like
be honest
it.
with you. Nowadays,
3.
it seems that all women, regardless of their own attractiveness, is walking around thinking they're a perfect 10 out of 10. All
True.
forms of modesty and simple common sense have gone straight out the window. And it seems all women are walking around with a chip on their shoulder thinking they're God's gift to mankind. Well,
True,
guys,
true.
in this video, I'm going to be outlining the 8 reasons, yeah, you heard that right, 8 reasons,
8.
for why the rate of attractiveness inflation is going through the roof, or in
Let's see
simple words,
this.
why every woman now thinks in 2021 she's a perfect 10.
Mm,
Number 1, and this should be by
Simping.
far the biggest reason,
Endless
simping.
options.
Now, the thing with simping
Oh.
is that a lot of people mistake for it only going in one direction. They think it only goes from the bottom up. It's the low value men at the bottom.
Bro, I saw this dude that gifted 70K to this Twitch streamer. Like, bro, you know how much cocaine you can get with 70K? Or like, bro, you're just a disappointment. 70K, that's a house. Not a house, but a car. You could buy so much stuff. You could get new skin with that. Like, you could get a skin transplant. And I don't know about you
Who are
guys.
bombarding the women at the
Simping
top
isn't for me,
with
if
endless
that's the
amounts
case.
of free attention, validation, and God forbid, money by paying for things like OnlyFans.
Bro,
But
imagine.
in reality, all women across the board of attractiveness
Use your money
have
for
an endless
something.
selection of simps to provide these things. Because what ends up happening is the simps start by throwing attention, money, and validation at the most attractive women, but when they don't get anything in return, they have no choice but to move down to the next level, and then the next level, and the next, and the next.
So an endless
So it's just this
cycle of
endless cycle
rejection.
of simps undercutting other simps.
Huh.
And whoever undercuts and simps the most supposedly wins in the end. Yeah, that
What
last
do you
bit's
win, then?
important. Supposedly. Because what happens next is all the low value women at the bottom,
Oh.
who now have a fresh crate of simps to choose from, have this backwards rationalization. Well, this is interesting.
I'm getting
all of this validation. Therefore, this must mean I am special.
Oh.
Therefore, I must also be highly attractive.
Yo, this is insane. Like, I'd understand if they had like a ketamine like addiction, but if you're not addicted to ketamine, I don't know why you're saying you're a 10. Other than that, if you were addicted, I'd say you're a 10 easily, but you're not. So you're not a 10. Bro, imagine getting rejected by her. I don't know about you guys, man. And she looks fat too. There's nothing wrong with being fat. It's just not attractive.
So the final piece of the puzzle, and also why simping never works, is all of the women at the bottom who have been senselessly simped over have now had their egos inflated beyond return.
Sheesh.
And all that's been left is
mine
the
was
guys at the
inflated.
bottom have now lost a ridiculous amount of their own time, energy, and resources, and all for nothing.
Cocaine. Like,
Now, the last point I'm going to make on this before I move on to the next reason is this is exactly why I have zero sympathy for simps. Because the only impact that simps have on the dating market is inflating women's egos, which in turn messes up the system and spoils it for anyone else who actually had a chance. Anyway,
Oh,
now moving on to
word.
point number 2 for why women
Women
overestimate their worth.
hookups
Women
equals value.
equating their hookup options to their actual value.
Interesting.
Now, because of the nature of the current dating market, just about every average woman, and in fact even some below average women, have access to regular intimacy and hookups from the guys at the top. Chad
Oh.
is shared between everyone. Now, what this means is the women in the middle end up thinking this. Well, I can hook up easily with Chad. However, Chad doesn't want to commit. Therefore, all I need to do is just find one that will commit. So
Wait,
back to
that's
the
not-
dating market,
that's not good,
all
is
the
it?
average women end up wasting time chasing and trying to pin down the Chads, and they string along and friend zone all of the guys they're actually on the same level with. the ones who would have given an equal relationship. But instead, the women's attention is all focused.
Bro, I swear, some people just have friend zone kinks, or however you call it. These guys just love getting friend zoned. And it's like, you try so hard, bro. And like, sometimes you have that one friend that's always chasing. You're like, this guy's embarrassing me. Like, it's really embarrassing to see how you're failing. And they gotta try a little harder. So you're like, damn, I wish this guy would just calm down. Like, do some cocaine. Just relax, bro. It's not that hard to like calm down and not simp. Just like at least take piano lessons, bro. Find a new hobby, rob a bank, anything. Just not this. Cause friend zone, bro. And those guys that are like, yo, this is my girl best friend. Dude, how are you best friends? Like, it's so confused. Like, is it even possible to have a girl best friend, bro? Because you want to hit,
On the top 10 to 15% of guys who they are able to hook up with, but not willing to give their commitment. Women, just because you can hook up with someone doesn't mean you're on their level, and certainly doesn't mean you can get commitment from them either. Moving on to point number 3,
red pill
acceptance
stuff, or
of
black pill,
unattractiveness.
whatever it's called.
And this does not apply to men. It's almost exclusively for women. And this is mostly the result of feminism. Now, this idea in the last 10 years has pretty much stepped in and said all women, irrespective of their own attractiveness, are all deserving of a perfect 10.
Ooh.
This belief system has tried to force down society's
Oh, is that what feminism is about? Sheesh. Dude, if feminists were into like donating crack to like people, I'd definitely be a feminist. But I don't see how this works. The two big girls in the middle, they're obviously not 10s. So unless you're gonna give me free like crack, maybe you'd be a 10 then. You know what'd be cool? If those two big girls were like nurses, so they'd provide you with like medication. Something like that. Okay, but back to the video. Not everyone's a 10, okay?
that all women of all shapes and sizes are all attractive in their own unique way. It is seen as grossly inappropriate to highlight the flaws in a woman's beauty, even if said flaws pose a huge risk to their physical health and can greatly reduce their life expectancy. Therefore, they are instead celebrated. And I've talked about this in my previous videos. I'll say again, try typing the words plus size into Google. There will not be one man in sight. In fact, I could bet money that you'd be scrolling for longer than the length of this video in order to just find...
Yo, why is plus size like promoted though? I have a few fat friends, bro. Actually, just one, and that guy does not like being fat. Like no, like he's trying to lose weight actually, and every time you're like, bro, what's up with you? He's like, yo, I'm just trying to lose weight, trying to be healthy. So how is this healthy? How is being plus size healthy? Like, I'll just tell me in the comments, bro, because I think a lot of people always just have to disagree. Like, oh, I feel comfortable in my own body, therefore I'm healthy. I don't think that's what that means, right? You could have diabetes and be like comfortable in your own body, but I don't know, man. Maybe if they did ketamine, I heard if you do that stuff, bro, you could lose like 1,000 pounds in one day. I used to weigh like 900 pounds. I lost like 800, now, doing ketamine. So for all those plus size people out there, do that stuff. It's actually helpful.
One single man. Moving on to point number 4, the media promoting delusion. Now, before I covered this point, because I'm about halfway through the video, now is a good time to press the like button and leave any thoughts you have in the comments below, as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, carrying on with the video. Media promoting delusion. Now, about 5 years ago, there was this film that came out called 50 Shades of Grey. And in fact, the book that it was based on was one of the highest grossing of the decade. And if you've not heard of this film or the book before, it's basically about this billionaire Chad who goes for and ends up in a relationship with some fairly average woman. A similar storyline
Wow.
happens in other movies and TV shows, such as the highly acclaimed Sex and the City. This series,
Yeah,
too,
like
showed
Superman
women,
settling for
despite
some
being in their
newspaper
30s and
guy or
40s,
girl.
still being able to pin down and get commitment from chads. So the point I'm trying to make
Interesting.
here is that the media is portraying the idea that any woman, irrespective of what she brings to the table, can get a relationship from a chad, no matter how old or average. Now moving on to point number 5, ego. Now, I didn't know just how big of a reason this was until I came across this scientific study titled Resisting Connection Following Social Exclusion. Now, this study attempted to see how a woman would react when first being approached by an attractive man, and then afterwards being approached by a less attractive man. The results were as followed. When the attractive man accepted the woman was also very likely to accept the less attractive man. In fact, he was accepted an average of 80%. Now, this isn't surprising, because after she gets accepted by the attractive man, she's probably feeling quite good about herself, and she's got nothing to lose by accepting the less attractive man, so she also gives him a pass.
This guy just doesn't
However,
have a beard.
for the
He'd look
second part of the
attractive
study,
too.
when the woman gets first rejected by the attractive man, they found she was then much less likely to accept the less attractive man's advances. In
Why
fact,
is
his
that?
acceptance rate dropped from 80% to a staggering 24%. That's nearly a 4 times drop. And the reason for this is because after the first rejection, she probably felt violated and had taken a huge blow to her self-esteem.
Oh, yo, I saw this video where this guy was like, he rejected this like model and she was shocked. He's like, "Oh, you rejected me?" And she was like, "I wouldn't date you anyway. You're not my type anyway." I'm like, "Yo, you didn't need to say that. You did not have to say, 'Oh, you're not my type anyway' when you get rejected." That's like that's the same as like, you know, those guys that are like, "Hey, yo, let me get a hug," or "Let me get your number." You say no, they're like, "Well, you ugly anyways." It's like that type of energy. I'm not really a big fan of that, because like, imagine this girl being on like morphine or some drug, and you tell her no. You know how bad she's gonna rip you apart? Like, she'll eat your limbs.
To recover and attempt to regain some of her self-worth, she lashes out on the less attractive guy by rejecting him. Now, I found this
Wild.
study very interesting because it shares such close parallels to the current dynamics of the dating market. Because
Dating
think about
market?
online dating.
Huh.
And for those who don't know how the Tinder algorithm works, the most popular profiles are shown first.
Bro, Tinder's a scam, bro. Back when I was in middle school, bro, I made a account, and I was 20. I said like 28. Sometimes when you're, when I was in middle school, I used to think I was like 30, all those ages, but it's cool. Now I feel like, the right age for now. But I'd make a Tinder account, go, put all those, everything necessary, say you're 18 plus, all that. After that, they're like, you already have 6 matches waiting for you. I'm like, yo, I just made the account. Am I that attractive? And then because you get hearts. You keep swiping. After all the hearts are gone, they're like, you should buy premium to see who liked you. Dude, there's no matches. And then once the match actually hits, you see some out of shape girl. You're like, dude. So if I buy this, there's this little app that used to show you what matches you had, but you couldn't really like, obviously, because it's like a little hacked Tinder. And you'd see the matches, it's nothing like you'd expect. Like, these girls aren't what you clicked on. Like, why are you... So it's a scam getting premium, clearly.
These are shown at the top of the card stack and are the first profiles a woman will see after logging on. Meanwhile, the less attractive profiles are shown last. Therefore, if an average or below average woman gets mostly negative responses from the popular profiles, the attractive ones, then the study shows the woman getting butthurt from this will result in her lashing out on the lower ranked profiles. And she will do this in order to rebuild some of her self-respect.
Huh.
Point number 6, a woman and her blue-pilled friends inflating her
What does
ego.
blue-pilled means?
Now, the 2 screenshots showed on either side of the screen.
Oh, bro, I hate this. I used to think this would end after, people grew up and came, got to high school, got to college, but I still see this. It's like, OMG, OMG, you, love, beautiful. Like, I've never gotten comments like this on any of my posts, and it's like, I'm like, yo, it's cool to support your friends, but like, you see some overweight girl, big girl, and the friends are like, oh my goodness, queen, I wish I was you. I swear, their friends lie to them on purpose, just so to keep them out of like competition or whatever. Because I think being overweight is not good for you. Because I have a friend who wants to lose weight so bad. And I'm like, wait, but they're promoting being like fat as like good. Why are you trying to lose weight? He's like, dude, when I'm showering, I can't reach some parts. How's that cool? And I'm like, yo, this guy has a point. So you're giving them all this good feedback. You think they'll want to change? They won't want to change. So, man, so these friends are one of the problem. So you can't have friends like this. It's all cap, 90%, because you never really see a lot of these comments on the pretty girls, because I don't know, it's always hating from the other side.
Are typical of the comments a woman will expect to see on her Instagram profile. So of course we have a couple simps giving her free validation, and I have checked their profiles and they are actually guys. But what's arguably more concerning is her and all of her female friends blowing smoke up one another. In my experience, I see these types of comments vastly outnumbering the one sent from simps. Here's where you'll see the comments like, my queen, you're gorgeous, stunner, you go girl. And the dumbest part about all of this isn't the comments themselves. Rather, it's the people that are sending and receiving them. Women will believe anything their friends tell them these days. So if 20 of a girl's female friends are sending these copy and paste comments on every post she uploads, even if the girl herself is average to below average in looks, she's still going to walk away patting herself on the back, thinking she's a lot more attractive than she actually is.
This is why you're
thinking
getting rejected
she's a
by
perfect
twos,
10.
because everybody thinks
Point number 7, entitlement. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a Darius M video, who's actually one of my favourite channels. And I remember him saying there are a lot more overweight women than men. And after that video, I looked it up and
Wait,
it's
is that
true.
so?
This is data from the
There's more overweight men than, there's more overweight women than men? Oh yeah, there's more obese women than men. Why is that? Maybe it's because body positivity is a thing now. So, but then when the girl's like bony, like to the bone, like you could eat her if you wanted. Like, there's skinny girls I've seen. I'm like, on a bad day, if it was snowing and we're in the mountains and it's like snowing, we can't get down, I could eat you. Like, literally, you're just bones. But then girls like that, they're like, okay, you need to eat some more food. But then these big girls, they're like, you're perfect, just perfect. So how does that work? Like, why is there a hate on the smaller ones but love on the bigger ones? And these big girls, it could be a meal, bro. You could eat that for days. Well, I wouldn't want to eat a human, but if I had to, I could. So a lot of this stuff, man.
chess website in the UK, my country. And for 16 to 24-year-olds, there are 2 times more obese women than men, 20% versus 10%. And it's a similar pattern for the 25 to 34-year-old age range. And I remember Darius saying the main reason for this is because women don't get in shape because they have no need to. The truth is, men know that if they're obese, no woman is going to want to be with them.
Facts.
But most women know, especially those who are overweight, that men will still be attracted to them even if they are packing extra pounds. And they will be able to tell you that from experience. Now, if this reason is true, then it shows they have a sense of entitlement. It shows they're entitled to somebody more attractive than they are, despite bringing far less to the table and putting in little to no effort. And in fact, I've even seen this in my own personal experiences. I've literally heard overweight women say that they will never date an overweight man. That is entitlement at its simplest form.
Oh yeah. Yo, I've actually never seen that. Like an overweight girl with an overweight boy. You rarely see that. It's usually like they'll, like it's not impossible to see like a big dude with a skinny cute girl, but those ones are like either like you're super funny, bro, and you bagged her, like you have a game. Other than that, you could see, man, on a bad day, if you catch a lot of dudes lacking, they'd be dating one of these twos down here. It's like it's just how stuff goes, and I don't know why that happens, but hey, if you don't have cocaine, we can't do. You can't come at my place. That's my rules.
Finally, moving on to point number 8.
Coping.
Coping. What I've noticed is nearly every woman, if you ask them the top 3 things that make them attractive, it will almost undoubtedly be a completely different list from another woman's. Just like the woman from the clip at the beginning. Her 3 reasons for why she is a perfect 10 was because she goes to school, goes to work, and has a good personality.
That's like
But
90%
based on how
of the
pretentious
girls.
she was being, I very much doubt there's much truth to this last one. This woman, if she believes that these 3 things alone make her a perfect 10,
So what
is
about
almost
looks?
certainly coping. Because here are the actual 3 things that men care about most. The holy trinity of what actually makes a perfect 10.
Tell
First
me.
of all, hot.
Hot.
This
Okay.
means not overweight.
Okay.
2, young.
But Lizzo's
Or in
probably
other
the
words,
exception.
under 30.
Young.
And 3, undamaged.
Undamaged.
This means not promiscuous
Not pro-
and also
Honestly,
no kids.
Honestly, I'll argue with this. I've had the no kids one. I'll actually argue against that, and the young one, the overweight one, that can stay, and that can also stay. Promiscuous, that can also stay. Under 30 and no kids. Honestly, with the kids, I feel like I just do that just to say, just to make fun of the kids. Like, bro, your mom, like me and your mom, like, or your mama, I won't say too much though, but there's women on like over 40 that are like hot. So it doesn't have to always be young. Uh I guess that's to me though, but I feel like when they're over 40, they probably disrespect you if you're a youngin. So I guess that's for the big boys. And no kids, it doesn't really have to be that way, but I mean, yeah. Sheesh, is it wild if I say I want a girl with like who's never talked to a boy in her whole life? That'd be crazy. I'd probably have to raise them myself if that's the case, because it's kind of impossible to find one of those.
This is what men actually want. And the funny thing is, what
Yo,
I've
speak for
noticed
yourself.
is when women are young, when they list reasons of what makes them attractive, they're likely to say things such as, I'm pretty, fit, young, therefore this makes me an 8. Meanwhile, when you ask older women, or even worse, the exact same women but just 10 to 15 years older, they're likely to give you a different list of the things that make them attractive. Such
What
as,
makes-
I have a career, I have 2 gorgeous kids, and I'm financially stable. Therefore, I'm also an 8. This is also coping. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is,
you don't have
these
cocaine,
days,
you're
nearly
not an
every
8.
woman has their own list of cope reasons for why they're more attractive than everyone else. And they will change it where they see fit and based on their own strengths. But the truth is,
Interesting.
men see very little value outside of the holy trinity of female attractiveness.
It's not that
All
holy,
lists
though.
that deviate from these 3 things are coping. Anyway, guys, that's
So I
it
was
for my
coping
8
a while
reasons
back?
for why most women massively overestimate their own attractiveness.
Okay, he was right on some of them. I'll give him that.